My name is Clara. I'm 26 years old, and I live with my mother in a small town by the sea. The mornings here always smell like salt and fresh bread. My father left when I was a little girl. He never came back. I asked my mother once why he left, but she said only, "It's better not to talk about him." After that, I never asked again. I work in a bakery cafe near the harbor. Every day is the same. I make coffee, serve bread, clean tables, and go home. The same faces, the same words, the same hours. I don't have many friends. I don't go out much. I tell myself I don't need to. People always leave. My father, a friend from school, even someone I once loved. So I decided, no more hope, no more feelings. But one morning, everything changed. A man walked into the cafe. He looked new in town. I took his order. Black coffee, no sugar, no smile. He paid and left. I didn't think about him again. But the next day, he came back. Same time, same order. And then again, the day after. He never said much, just looked quiet and thoughtful. I tried not to care, but something about him stayed in my mind. Why did he keep coming back? Maybe he liked the coffee. Maybe not. On the fourth morning when I opened the cafe, he was already sitting by the window. He looked up and said softly, "Hi." Just that. One small word. My heart jumped, but I didn't show it. I only nodded. The next few days, he said nothing again. Then one morning he asked, "Do you like working here?" I said, "It's okay." That was all. But his words stayed in my head all day. After that, I started waiting for him. I looked at the clock before his usual time. I stood near the counter, pretending to clean, but really waiting. And when he came in, something inside me felt calm, like a small light turning on. Then one day, he didn't come. Not that day, not the next, not even the next. I told myself it didn't matter, but my chest felt heavy. The cafe felt quieter than usual. After 4 days, he returned. "Sorry," he said. "I had to go out of town." He smiled a little. I wanted to smile too, but I just said, "Oh." Still, I was glad he came back. He started coming every day again. We talked a bit more each time. He told me about his job in the city and his younger sister. I told him about my mother and how I stopped trusting people. He listened. Really listened. I didn't know talking could feel so easy. For the first time in years, I began to think, maybe not everyone leaves. Then one Saturday morning, he came in with a woman. She smiled at him and whispered something that made him laugh. They sat at our usual table. He didn't look at me. I brought their coffee. "Thanks," he said, and nothing else. I finished my shift, went home, and didn't eat dinner. I tried to read, but the words blurred. My heart felt cold again. I knew this would happen, I told myself. People always leave. He didn't come for 3 days. On the 4th day, he returned, alone. He came to the counter and said, "Can we talk?" I didn't answer. He continued, "The woman with me that day was my sister. She came to visit for 1 day. I wanted her to see the café I always talk about. I looked up at him. His voice was nervous, not proud. Something in me softened. "I thought you were angry," he said quietly, "but I didn't want to disappear from your life." I didn't know what to say. I only whispered, "Why do you care?" He smiled. "Because you're the reason this place feels like home to me." For a moment, I couldn't speak. Then he asked, "Can I come back tomorrow?" I said, "Yes." And he did. Every day, same coffee, no sugar. But now we laughed and talked about music, rain, and dreams. Later, I met his sister again. She smiled and said, "I told him not to mess it up." I laughed for the first time in weeks. He met my mother one evening. They talked for a long time. Afterwards, she said, "He's kind, and you seem happy." She was right. One night, as we walked along the quiet beach, I told him, "I used to be afraid to feel anything, but not anymore," he said. "You don't have to be afraid." I'm here, and I believed him, because now I know not everyone leaves. Some people stay. Some change your life quietly, just by being there. Before I met him, I lived with my heart closed like a locked door, but when someone knocked gently and waited, I realized I could open it again. When we close our hearts, we shut out not only pain, but also kindness, friendship, and love. Life begins again when we find the courage to open our hearts. Have you ever met someone who made you believe in love again? Share your story in the comments.